This one boasts an almost perfect run for Man City, 107 points in the Premier League, won 6 competitions overall, including the Club World Cup. This might be one to beat all. This one is called the 4-2-3 Sucker Punch. Now, it has gone through several variations. What I just read you from in the intro is from version 1.1. They did use Manchester City going 35-2-1. So they did a fantastic job getting 107 points. They did holiday through it, so that is very promising to see how Liverpool and Aston Villa and our championship side of Ipswich Town are going to fare. But again, this has gone through several different variations. This is version 1.10 that we're testing. And I just noticed they actually have an update to that, which I have not tested. So we are a version behind. But basically, everything's saying this is a tweaked version of so-and-so and tweaked version of so-and-so and down the line. But again, we're going to be testing it out with our 3 teams. So let's just jump into the Premier League and see how they did. Well, version 1.10 seems to have done a fantastic job. Not quite 107 points for Liverpool, but 103 is pretty nice. Clearly winning the league. 33 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss, 121 goals is fantastic. Aston Villa with 87 points is well above their average lately, at least. 103 goals, that as well. I mean, I think we're going to get some more trophies here. I think 1 loss against Sheffield United in the Premier League. And then everything else from that point on is just wins or draws. So going somewhat individually, you can see Carabao Cup final 5-2 win over Ipswich Town, getting to the final for them. That is really nice. But second or third trophy, I should say, 1-1 in penalties FA Cup final against Newcastle. And then a fantastic unbeaten run up to the Europa League final, beating Roma 4-0. So yeah, this is one to take a look at, no question about it. 4 trophies across all competitions. This is pretty nice. Squad-wise, now we're getting to the green amount that I like to see. But goals, 31 for Salah, Nunez with 28, 27 for Diaz, 24 for Jota, Szoboszlai with 22. That is a lot of 20-plus goals right there. 24 assists for Trent, 21 for Robertson. Average rating, Connor Bradley is up there with 16-plus appearances. Wow, of course, 7-4-1. But Szoboszlai with a 7-4-0, as does Trent. Aston Villa not doing nearly as well as Liverpool did, but, I mean, look at all that green. Absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, we know they didn't win either of the domestic cups. Carabao Cup quarterfinals 1-3 to Brighton is where they lose out, and FA Cup semifinals, again, in extra time 3-4 against Newcastle. But an absolutely perfect run in the Conference League brings you to the final against Sporting, and you get the 3-0 win. So overall, I mean, quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, semifinals of the FA Cup, winners of the Conference League, runners-up in the Premier League. This was a pretty good season themselves. And you can see the green there, which is really nice to see for Aston Villa. Goals, 26 for Jacob Ramsey, McGinn with 24, Moussa Diaby with 23, 21 for Zaniolo. They've got their own 20-plus goal group there. 22 assists for Digne, 20 for Ramsey. I mean, overall, this is pretty nice, but Ramsey with a 7-7-0. Data Hub, through and through attacking as we love to see. I mean, they've got fouls per game is what we always see. You got 14.84, 3.33 fewer though. But as we like to take a look at more, goals per game is 3.18, 0.58 conceded, and 0.69 XG against. That is fantastic. Aston Villa doing the same amount. I'm going to guess that's a bit more, but 17.53, yeah. So, but attacking side, 2.71, definitely above their average. 1.13 conceded, 1.16 XG against. Premier League stats, 2.71 points per game, 2.29 for Aston Villa. Most goals, Liverpool in first with 121, 103 for Aston Villa in second. Few shots against, 243 for Liverpool, 343 for Aston Villa. Most possession, 54 to 53%. Most dribbles made, 620 Liverpool. And then most shots for Liverpool in first with 743. Aston Villa in second with 627. But yet again, if the Premier League teams won so big, Ipswich Town must have followed suit, right? Well, yeah, 122 points, 147 goals. That is an insane season. FA Cup, they didn't go too far. They got to the FA Cup 4th round, 1-2 against Nottingham Forest, but we know they got to the Carabao Cup final and lost big against Liverpool. So overall, I mean, runners-up the Carabao Cup is pretty fantastic. FA Cup, but 122 points, was it 147 goals or something like that? Through the roof. And still only 6 to show in the green. But Overall, I mean, 24 goals for Connor Chaplin. George Hurst all the way down with just 11 assists, 23 assists for Leif Davis, and then average rating, as we saw, a 7-3-0 for Harry Clark. Championship stats, 2.65 points per game in first with Ipswich Town. Most goals in first with 147, through the freaking roof. Second place for few shots against, 350. Most possession in seventh with 53%. Dribbles made in eighth with 695, and most shots for with 802 in first. But now let us take a look at this 4-2-3-1, shall we? Sweeper, keeper, in defend is where we start. Fullbacks on the left and the right in attack, with ball playing defenders in defend in the central spots. 2 DM in support, inside forward on both sides in support, an attacking midfielder in attack, and then an advanced forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality, in possession, attacking with his narrow, approach play, pass into space, focus play down the left and the right, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, step up more, and invite crosses. So how did it do for our three teams overall? I mean, I will say the last couple of tactics that we've been trying, the last couple of 4-2-3-1s, are very similar. So where you want to do a fullback versus a wingback, you're going to have to figure that out, what is best on your squad and what abilities they have. But this tactic did a fantastic job with all three teams. Ipswich Town coming clear runners in first, 147 goals. I think that's pretty darn nice. And if you look at Liverpool and Aston Villa, first and second place, 103 points, clear winners. And even 87 for Aston Villa is 8 above Arsenal in third. So I think this tactic just did a phenomenal job. It just depends. If you take a look at the last couple of 4-2-3-1s that we've tried that have done an amazing job, you just kind of have to pick out, well, I like the fullback option of this one. I like the X option of that one. But they're really, we're getting down to the wire of, FM25 is coming out soon. A lot of these tactics are just kind of gelling together, and they're very similar to one another. Just pick one, see how it works for your team. If it doesn't work, maybe shift a role here and there to mimic another one and see how that works. But this one did a phenomenal job. But I am 7FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you so much for watching. Take care and enjoy.